Great is the Lord, and most worthy of praise.
I started in hospice chaplaincy in 2008 in New York. Worked as a hospice chaplain for 12 years there. Been now with Wellspring for a little over 2 years after both my mom and dad were patients of Wellspring Hospice. Mom passed in January 2020 and dad passed in October. So it was so comforting and beneficial to have the chaplain from Wellspring, Bob Smith, who came and prayed with us and provided spiritual care to my dad and our family. We couldn't have done it without Wellspring.
Our chaplaincy is probably one of our biggest things. While we're taking care of physical needs and emotional needs, sometimes it's a spiritual need. And when we think of pain, we think of physical pain and emotional pain, but sometimes it's spiritual pain. Or maybe they've never had spirituality, or maybe they've actually turned away from that and denied it.
Recently had a patient, when I met him, he said, "There is no God." After meeting with him several times, and I found out that he had read the Bible through from cover to cover 3 times. As he was nearing the end, he said, "Mark, when the time comes, I want you to say a prayer over me." I said, "Oh, we don't have to wait. We can do that right now." And he reached out and took my hand and we prayed. Working as a hospice chaplain, I have met and worked with more than 3,000 cases, individual patients and their family members, many who didn't have a church.
I do think people are looking for something more. Maybe COVID had something to do with it when churches were closed down. People went away from their church, and I don't think a lot of people have gone back maybe. Where are you in this, God? I think a lot of people felt that around the globe. Why is this happening to our world? So I think faith was shaken.
Some people are giving up on the church, the organized church, and they're struggling. They're looking for answers.
We just admitted someone onto hospice not too long ago, and I had asked the daughters, we were signing the admission papers, what is a top priority for you, for your dad at this point? And she said, "I am so concerned about his spiritual well-being." We got Mark in right away, and prior to his passing, he was baptized by Mark, and he had asked Mark to baptize him. We've had rare occasions where people have asked, about being baptized. It's more recent that we've seen more.
One individual, he was welcoming of chaplain visits once a month. And then one day his sister asked me, he says, "Do you do baptisms?" Gladly. We arranged it for the next visit that I would come. I think the last 6 or 8 months of his life were probably the richest time of his life.
Having the chaplain service and having the spiritual support for our patients and families at end of life is crucial. And another thing that we've seen too is people asking for our chaplain to do the service, the funeral service. He did 3 in 1 week just not that long ago. Our chaplain has stepped in and done that for families, and that's a huge thing too. There's a different kind of connect that I think our families have now with our hospice because we are providing such intimate kind of care like that.
The chaplain's role is quite broad. The chaplain serves the staff. We're there to provide spiritual support and guidance, and I've been asked by staff members to officiate at their wedding. We're there to encourage and equip staff to share their faith.
Our staff at Wellspring does have the freedom to express their faith and are comfortable doing so. We come together and we provide that support to one another, and we do it with prayer. That freedom to do that has been just wonderful and a great place to go to work every day knowing that can come with you.
I'm a strong proponent of chaplaincy even in the private sector. Some companies have a chaplain to serve as a spiritual, emotional guide in their lives. Certainly in a skilled nursing facility, our child and family ministry, chaplaincy is critical.
Because there are no dollars behind it, and they're like dollars through Medicare or Medicaid, that kind of stuff. It is all donor funded, and that is something we have to keep going. An important part of Wellspring's mission, I'm sure, is to educate people about the spiritual care that hospice provides.
I like the mission statement of Wellspring. We're motivated by Christ's love to engage people where they are, serve people of all faiths or people of no faith, and doing chaplaincy work, but knowing that there's a whole backing of staff and heritage there that is supporting the ministry of Christ. That makes a big difference. Not to say that everyone that works for Wellspring is necessarily religious or Christian, but they see the results. They see the benefit that it gives.
It's been an interesting spiritual journey, I think, for all of us. So I think people are out there searching for that support.
We are rapidly becoming an unchurched society, which puts more emphasis on the need for spiritual care. I'd like to see us reach more people.
People's faith is important to them, and the fact that we can provide that support and give them what they need is just a blessing.
Whether they know God or know Christ or not, my goal is that they would have peace.